This is Capital Games Movie Club. I am The Wiz. Today, I am reviewing the 2022 psychological drama Tar, starring Cate Blanchett, directed by Todd Field. This film was nominated for, I believe, 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress. Right now, it looks like Cate Blanchett is the front runner for Best Actress in this, so I was definitely looking forward to watching this movie since I am a Cate Blanchett fan, and, psychological dramas are kind of my bag, so I was looking forward to watching this, so let's get into it. But before I get into the review of Tar, let me give a brief synopsis of the director, Todd Field. Todd Field was an actor that did some small roles until he started doing some directing work. And he hit it out with a bang in 2001's In the Bedroom, starring Sissy Spacek and Marissa Tomei and Tom Wilkinson. I don't think I've seen that movie, so I can't really say whether it's good or not, but it was a movie that got a lot of Academy Award nominations, and a lot of people seem to have really liked it back then. I didn't get acquainted with Todd Field until Little Children in 2006, which was a really good, really interesting ensemble piece about a bunch of people in an upper class, I guess it's upper class or middle to upper class town, dealing with their issues, including infidelity and stuff like that. It's got Kate Winslet in it, which she's amazing in everything, but has a really good performance by Jackie Earle Haley, who would later go on to play Rorschach in Watchmen. So if you want to watch him do an incredible performance, I would check out Little Children. So that was in 2006. What else did Todd Field do? Nothing. He didn't do anything. He took a Terrence Malick break, and except for, I guess, directing a commercial for AT&T, that was it. He took a long hiatus, and he came back with Tar, which is the movie that got a lot of buzz and is getting a lot of acclaim for Cate Blanchett. Is that acclaim deserved? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, so let's go into the review. Like I said when I started, Tar is just my type of movie. I love these types of movies. I love character studies. I like psychological thrillers. I like, it's not a psychological thriller, it's a psychological drama. Let me correct myself. So I really like these types of movies. I guess this is like catnip to me. So if you want to excite me with a certain type of movie, this would probably be one of them. And with an actress as good as Cate Blanchett, and I think I'm not saying something too controversial here, Cate Blanchett is a fantastic actress. I mean, my God. This woman not only did great performances in The Aviator, Notes from the Scandal, Elizabeth, Blue Jasmine, she killed it in Thor Ragnarok. Like in an MCU movie. Like, she punched well above her weight and Carol. Oh my God, I forgot about Carol. Carol's a great movie. Oh my God. I mean, she's got so many great performances that when she started getting an inordinate amount of praise for this movie, I was really excited to see what this was all about. So I guess I'll get into it now. Does it live up to the hype that we've all been hearing when it comes to the performance by Cate Blanchett? Yes. Yes, it does. It is a fantastic performance. It is a performance that, God, can I call it her best performance? I'm not sure. It is close. If I'm gonna rate them, good Lord, if I'm gonna rate in terms of her best performances, I think Carol is her best, followed by Elizabeth, and then I would say Tar. But that's like that's like damning praise. That's kind of like, okay, what's the best mattress to sleep in? Or I'm trying not to be crude, but it's basically saying, hey, what's the best of the best thing you could ever have? And that's kind of what I'm saying here. So this is a fantastic performance by Cate Blanchett. She is the movie in this. Like, you cannot keep your eyes off of her in this. It is fantastic. It is a multi-layered, very interesting performance that I don't think few actors could really do with the amount of time that is given to her in this movie. Because lesser actresses, if given the amount of time she was given in this, would have flubbed somewhere, would have had an issue somewhere. It would have been as deep of a movie as it was in this. But in this case, like, this was, let me put it this way, okay? When it comes to her breadth of work right now, I would say she's at an equal with Meryl Streep right now. And Streep's got, I think when I compare Streep's performances and Blanchett's, I think they're even. There are some of Streep's that have gotten nominated and praised that I'm about, but I honestly think Blanchett does a really good job in this movie, and this movie, I think, cements her in that stratosphere of actresses that just do amazing performances that deserve all the praise it's getting. And Streep is one of them. She's another. What would be the third? Honestly, I want to see Viola Davis do more, because I think she could be another one that could do that. But she doesn't have enough great performances. She's a fantastic actress, but she's one that I want to see her do a lot more to reach that pantheon. But she's getting there. She's getting there, I think, Viola Davis. But yeah, let me get into a little more detail with the performance by Cate Blanchett. This character, Lydia Tarr, who is the main character of the film, she's a conductor that is very esteemed, very acclaimed, highly successful, probably one of the most important and beloved when it comes to her work. Maybe not as a person, which you'll find out more throughout the film, but in her breadth of work is highly acclaimed in this. With these types of movies, when they follow a person that is beloved and is basically, I guess paragon's not really the right word, but somebody that people aspire to. Sometimes these movies have a fatal flaw and weakness, and it is to make the theme of the film highly obvious. Whereas, and usually the theme when it comes to the film, when they have this type of character, is the person an asshole or not? Does this person deserve the adulation? Is this person somebody who doesn't deserve what they are getting, or has let that fame get into their head in this? And there is a little bit about that in this film, but that's not the point of the film, really. Or maybe it is, like, in my interpretation of it. I know some will hear that after watching this going, I'm not sure where you're getting that from, because that's how I feel about it, which, that's fine. The performance is so deep, and the way that she portrays Lydia is incredibly interesting in this. The way that Cate Blanchett does Lydia Tarr in this is that throughout the film, you don't know what exactly you're supposed to expect from this person. Yes, she's brilliant. Yes, she's captivating. Yes, she's magnetic. Is this a play of morality, or is this a play of the simpleness of what goes up must come down? When you reach the stars that high, the fall from grace is ever larger in this. And it mixes between the two themes of that film enough to where this is a long film. This is about 2 hours and 30 minutes. Where when it gets to mixing between these two themes, that it still remains captivating and interesting. And that's also because the way that the character is written itself is incredibly deep and really well written in this. Not only by dialogue, but by how the script characterizes Tar in this. And again, this is a type of film that could have easily gone through the same old ringer of really popular, really acclaimed person is either an asshole or not. They leave that ambiguous to a certain extent. You'll have your opinion of it. I know you will. But I felt it was more ambiguous than that. Did I feel that this person is pretty uppity and full of herself a bit? Yes. But did she deserve what was coming to her? I'm not sure. But everyone's gonna, and I think this is the brilliance of this movie, is that everyone is going to have their take on it. I love films like this. I know people can't stand films like this at times, but I like films that challenge me to really think of what happened and why these things happened, or essentially why exactly do the characters react the way that they do to the main character. For the most part, like, I think it is an endlessly fascinating movie. But again, these types of movies are my thing. I love these types of movies. So bear that in mind. If this doesn't sound interesting to you, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But with these types of character studies, these psychological character study movies, Tar is an excellent movie. Like, I just watched, what did I just watch recently? I watched The Banshees of Inisherin a couple weeks ago and really liked it and thought, like, it was deserving of its nomination. I definitely think this of Tar. I think Tar is excellent. Tar is and it's basically centered on how good Cate Blanchett's performance is in this movie and how the character is written. And with those things clicking so well, you have a masterful performance in a movie that's fascinating to watch. So I've talked about the writing, which I think is Todd Field who wrote it, and I've talked about the performance by Cate Blanchett. The other performances are good. They're not as important or showy. I think Nina Hoss was all right in the movie. She was pretty good in this. I guess another performance I should point out is Sophie Kauer, who plays Olga in the movie. She's in it for a small period of time, but she's pretty good as well. Direction, I mean, the way the film is shot is exquisite looking. The lighting is very good. I think the person who did the cinematography in this, I don't have him up right now, or her up right now, did a fantastic job lighting the movie and shooting it the way it is, because the film is set in Berlin, which I believe is to be the #1 place to do classical music, and it gives this whiff and this aura of opulence that that makes you get really into the whole setting of the film. It, especially when it gets into the politics and everything regarding what's going on with the orchestra. It is a fascinating world to be in. I was fascinating watching this movie. I can't keep saying it. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was excellent. Is there problems that I have with it? I mean, not really. I'm thinking about it right now. If I really wanted to nitpick, could it have been cut by 15 minutes? Maybe? Like, I'm searching for problems with this movie. I will say this. I mean, for the first half of the film, the first film I thought about when I was watching this was Whiplash. And Whiplash was a movie that I thought was very good, had great performances, and had an interesting interpretation after I watched the movie. And it was basically that everything that the main character went through with the teacher, who was played by J.K. Simmons, the teacher was right all along. Despite him being abusive, despite him being somewhat of an ogre throughout the entire film that maybe you don't want to deal with. But in order to gain excellence, you have to go through those types of hard times. That was my interpretation, and I thought that's where the direction it was going in this. I did not think it was going to go into the direction that the film went into, and I will get into that in spoilers, but where it does go, even though it's not a blind side, they hint towards it as the film draws near. I like the fact when they get to that point that they keep it ambiguous enough where you can interpret it the way you want it to be interpreted, or the way you think it might be. And I think it's, again, excellently done. I can't praise this movie enough. Okay, so why don't we get into spoilers for Tar? If you have not watched this movie, you can leave now, come back, and listen to these spoilers after you're done. I will get into spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, what happens in this movie? Basically, Lydia Tarr is doing a orchestra in Berlin, and I believe the first hour and a half is basically her trying to prepare her orchestra for the performance and her symphony that she is writing. And that sounds boring, but it's actually quite fascinating because they get into the political they get into the intrigue about it, the character issues that goes on throughout with the film, especially with Lydia, and then it goes into Lydia's personal life a little bit with her. I believe it's her wife in this, is played by Nina Hoss, and those are done very well, and it also establishes a character as somebody who I believe. Here's my interpretation: this is a character who's used to getting her way, so successful in her professional life, she expects it to dive right into her personal life. What she wants is what she gets, in both aspects, and there is a bit of a struggle on that. What happens, I would say, in the second half of the movie is that an old student of her commits suicide. And this person, it is hinted to a certain extent, but it's not something that is made quite clear, that Lydia had a relationship with this young woman. A possible relationship. I don't remember if it was confirmed. I believe her wife thinks it did happen. This spirals into her trying to hide what happened, to delete anything that would link her to that girl. And then when that happens, it starts coming out that she's had some predatory sexual behavior with other women. According to others, that's what happened. But again, they don't really go into detail with it. It is left ambiguous. You are left to think whether Lydia did this or not, or if that's really an important aspect. Because I think, to me, whether she did or didn't do it is important. I think this movie is generally about rise and fall, which is basically when you reach these highs, the crash down is going to be monumental. And that is where I think the interpretation of the film, I think that's what the film is really about, is when a person reaches that high, that crash is bad. That crash is worse in that case. And film does it in a way like that reminds me of Gendarme to a certain extent, where you're used to a certain flow throughout the film, and then when that turn comes, it hits hard. It hits really hard. And it's effective in this too. It's very effective. And it's not it's not where I was emotionally invested in Lydia in this, because Lydia in this movie is not a likable person. Yeah, she's not likable. But is she someone that you could hate? No. She's a very flawed human being that I can't bring myself to hate, but I would not trust. I would not want to entrust with her in anything. But that goes to the depth of the character and how well she's written and how well she's performed in this. So I I definitely have, I think, a different interpretation than most have in this. I think a lot of people, when they saw this film, automatically assumed she was an abuser, but I didn't get that in this. I had shades of Whiplash. Honestly, this reminded me of Whiplash a lot in that aspect, where it may seem like she's trying to be predatory, but I think she's just trying to be hard. She's just trying to be a person that demands perfection to a certain extent. I didn't get predatory. I got not nice. I got not a good person to a certain extent, but I didn't get predatory in this. But again, that's up to interpretation, and you may feel different, and that's fine. But that's, I think, the beautiful thing about this movie, and why I like it so much in this, is that I get the feeling when I talk to other people about this movie, they're going to have different interpretations, and it's not going to be something where I can look at it and go, unless it's really out there, where I can go, I don't think that's right. Because the movie is ambiguous enough where if you put yourself into the movie and you give into it, the more you give in, the more you get out of it. And I love these types of movies, and it is so good. It is an excellent movie. Okay, so my final thoughts on Tar. I mean, God, I had a hard time finding a bad thing about this movie. I think it's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, I think right now it is my favorite movie of the movies that have been nominated for Best Picture. I haven't seen many of them, to be fair, but this is definitely one that I think deserves all the praise it's gotten. I am gonna. This is a rare one. I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. I really don't give 5 stars to movies, really, unless after multiple viewings. But this could definitely be one where I could see myself giving it 5. I'm gonna give it 4.5. It is an excellent movie. If you are interested in this and you like Cate Blanchett, you have to see it. I think it's a fantastic movie. I really liked this. It was really good. Okay, so that's it for Tar. Next time that we do this, I'm going to review Top Gun Maverick, another movie that's been nominated for Best Picture. Me and Zero reviewed Top Gun towards the beginning of last year, and that was my first time watching Top Gun, and I ended up really enjoying it in its cheesiness. I thought it was entertaining. I didn't think it was much more deeper than that. So I'm going to be really interested in seeing how Top Gun Maverick turns out. So tune in next time where I review Top Gun Maverick starring Tom Cruise and directed by Joseph Kosinski. I am The Wiz. This is the Capital Games Movie Club. Talk to you next time. Bye.